nearly 23 minutes at this point already. Sector C is going to be very difficult for the attack. They're sitting a strike team far left around the backside of C1, which is pretty standard. The main force is kind of holding this large alleyway between the 2 points, and Mayang is playing very safe, just shelling over the top for now. Of course, you will see an all-in from that tank as we get closer and closer to what will be the final couple pushes here.
Saryajin is in probably the most disgusting spot I have ever seen for a vehicle, especially throughout this event. Backup is going to be coming very, very soon for DNI. A tank destroyer available for them. Again, I'm going to mention again, where are the vehicles for TXD? Have they just invested everything? Okay, there they are. Finally, it's coming down.
They're taking a lot of damage there. That backside tank might go down. The frontside tank actually tanked one of the shots. Otherwise, the backside tank goes down. Literally 1 HP in a dream. Can an Allure Rocket clean up the deal here before the engineers heal it up? Looking like no. Man, that's a missed opportunity. They've got to see that HP bar, but there's a lot of chaos happening on C1 right now. Again, for DNI to win, their win condition is maintain a hold and set a foothold for a respawn here on C1. They got to take this point very quickly, which it looks like they mostly are, and set that position up as their base camp to prepare for a push onto C2. You know, funny enough, every time we've seen Crackers, there's only one other time here on land, there really wasn't a tug of war between C1 and C2. It was just a back and forth on the in-between spaces. If you could ever get to C2 on this wide open rotation, you'd have a chance.
An extended match here on Crack, just barely. C1 has now been conceded. They did try to fight for it a little bit, but only able to take out 6 tickets. 54 to work with here for DNI.
Big fight.
I'm starting to think about it, right? Vehicles obviously playing a big part of this. What about a guided missile? We're 25 minutes in. I think the score has been racking up. My eyes are kind of looking towards Saryajin, right? Been in that tank for a very long time, has not had to replace it since forever ago, so the score has got to start to rack up, right? 50 tickets to work with towards C2. These tanks are getting pressured so much that they're back in the spawn.
Back in the spawn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a great
That's
play.
why.
That was a great play. They back up, they were low, but you saw everybody pop out of the vehicles, throw up their Allure Rockets, and all connect on the same vehicle. Big takedown.
But C2 is getting captured right now. Obviously, yeah, nothing to worry about. Looks like there was only like 1 or 2 members of DNI on it, somehow capturing themselves, and that wakes up TXD.
Yeah, it's the classic play here from DNI. It's what they've been doing with stick stacks. You can see him actually playing in this forward position. They're putting a little bit of pressure to force the defense to back up. We had a low tank destroyer though. Wanza in a big difference maker. Hard to be a difference maker when your vehicle gets blown up nearly immediately. These are big wins for TXD. I've said this before. I will probably say it again, maybe even in this match. The war of attrition always goes to the defense, and right now TXD is winning that. If they can hold on just for a little bit longer, they will win this game.
After the tank did get lost, they're then forced to go ahead and call on that tank, right? That's going to cost a little bit of score that I was talking about. Thought that he was going to be able to start racking up that score towards the guided missile, but because the vehicle went down, going to have to reinvest now. C2 has not really been touched yet. The boots on the ground have not been able to advance the line, and a big reason for that is the 2 tanks on the side of TXD holding this entire road.
Calling in this vehicle from way back there just to make sure it lands, because they know that it is one of the last vehicles they will get in this map. 30 lives and counting.
Ooh.
Got a respawn beacon, but a route man back here with Winter find it with the tank. No problem. Nobody's going to be respawning there. Assault vehicle in deep trouble and going to have to back out. Styx goes down with that assault vehicle. Not an end of the world situation, but would have been helpful to get Styx's squad back into the mix very quickly. Romania has decided to hold C2. Makes sense. Set the objective. Earn some extra score for what will be the last push. May just get that score in time. Maybe call a guided missile even from the defensive side to assuredly net a victory.
Odu on the back of the tank destroyer right here. They're trying to find something happen, but amongst all the chaos, TXD, they've actually gone on the aggression. they went ahead and tried to recapture C1.
This is the right play from the defensive side. They're not giving up C2. They know the pressure's on at C1. They also know the same win condition I mentioned before. The win condition for DNI is to have complete control over C1, spawn in from there, and make an organized push. Sarajin in deep trouble. Very, very low. One or two more rockets. Those triple blaster shots will land, but we got enough. No, we don't have enough engineers in TPP on the assault. In TPP takes down Sarajin. I said there was a couple nails in the coffin, but that one will seal the deal most likely. A brutal push here. Wansa finally able to answer back, but we only have 11 lives, and we finally have C1 in control. Their win condition back on the table, but they are running out of time. They have to be perfect for this next push, and frankly, the last push.
I mean, it was close on B2. You remember, they almost ran out of tickets. They're in the same situation again, but this one's a little bit different. You got to push a little bit further. C2, it all looks done and dusted, especially when the vehicles you're calling in, they're getting blown out of the sky before they even touch the ground. They're taking it slow, though. DNI trying to go ahead and find something that they can do together. They are losing a couple of lives here and there, but TXT, they're still on the aggressiveness. They're still just blowing those vehicles out of the sky, and the push towards C1 is still happening. It's been the same squad over and over again for TXT. They keep pushing towards C1. They keep picking up a couple of kills here and there, and as a result, only 4 tickets left.
Wow. Yeah, and we don't even have any pressure on C2. We're not going to get an overtime here. I can almost assure you of that. The last second, an urgent redeployment time. A beacon landed by Veronica. They do now have pressure. They got it. They got it. I spoke too soon. I didn't see Veronica sneak in and grab that beacon down. With pressure on C2, they push us into overtime. This map couldn't get any closer. Perfectly executed right at the last second, and it's going to be matched. Look how many streaks are being called in from both sides. A massive push right now. One that TXT is technically winning, but only by a small margin. C2's falling, but they're answering back on C1. Veronica, the hero. Let's see if the hero will actually win the map, though, because TXT have so much pressure, and they are using all of their score to secure the win. 60 seconds and counting, and that is the only timer, the only number that matters here in overtime.
A minute left remaining for TXT to go ahead and hold on, but a respawn beacon on C1 is going to allow them to start to put the pressure back onto DNI. Yeah, that C2 push looked very, very good, but we might have forgotten about C1. Again, they're all over C1. A guided missile, a Hail Mary, something, please work, is what DNI is begging for right now. I don't know where you can put a guided missile to cover both of the points. We're going to have to see if it finds any sort of value. It's going to go on the C2. It does find 3 kills. Yes, they might be able to pick up C2, but that, for me, the big question mark is going to be C1.
It's going to come down to the strike team. There's 3 or 4 players. Sarajin, no vehicles, so I'm going to put a gun in my hand and try to take C1 by myself. Both ticking towards the attack. They have to do it in 30 seconds, and vehicles galore coming in from the defensive side. C2 in control.
Another one.
Deck Dog calling in a guided missile. I can only assure you, this will land on C2. This could land right on the heads of TXT. Another beacon goes down with 20 seconds on the clock, folks. C1 and C2 are red, but they are not in complete control by either squad. This missile will change everything if it hits on anything. Dead Dog picks up 1. CVVT with a missile of his own, but it will land 1 second on the clock. C1 is deep in trouble. C2 is at nearly a perfect tie. Who will win the gunfights? Who will outplay their opponent with 10 seconds on the clock?
Oh my gosh!
Win the map in overtime.
If that missile lands, the map goes the other way. Mere seconds separates us on crack between who takes home the first game, but it's DNI towards the end of things. A couple of lives remaining. Somehow the clutch comes in, somehow they sneak on the C2, somehow they force overtime, and somehow the beacon, the infinite lives, the urgent deployment, the guided missiles. It was finally enough.
Missile comes in 1 second too late. 1 singular second. Quick look back on the highlights. Obviously, it started here on A, and TXT did such a great job on defense, man. They held this first point for so long. Unreal.
Going all the way back to Sector A, yeah, you're right. I no longer believe. I didn't think we were going to get past it. And here, fast forward in time, TNI takes the map.
Crazy, man. And I think after A, obviously we look towards the B sector. This is where rubber meets the road, right? There's a lot of vehicle trades. Honestly, a couple overstays here from TXD early to give away a few free vehicles. But B was a good hold as well. Again, B1, as per the usual, taken by the attack, used as a foothold. But remember what TXD was able to do. They were actually able to trade out B1 and B2. When B2 was under so much pressure, they routed over from their spawn to B1 to relieve some of that pressure and keep their dreams alive of holding in Sector B. That moment right there, really impressive stuff from TXD. They went out in a lot of these engagements. Finally, Sarah Jane hits the rooftops. We've seen that in a couple times in the qualifier tournaments. Finally get to see it on main. And they barely skate through the B sector. We get to the C sector, and I didn't think we would make it to overtime. I even said that out loud. These guided missiles changed a lot. They didn't change everything, though. It was the beacon inside of C, and that guided missile was literally, from the defense, from CPVT, was literally 1 singular second too late. A crazy map. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and see, obviously, some big moments from some big players here. My eyes are drawn to the left side of our screen first because they did win. Styx picks up 72 kills, playing entry fragger, playing boots on the ground, playing assault, and just slamming the opponent on the flank over and over again.
Shout out to NTPP on TXD side, though, picking up 49 kills on that engineer class for the most part of that game. I'm looking for the revives, right? Where was CVBT at?